Hello YouTube. I thought I'd make a dark diary secrets. What are the secrets of the body that nobody really tells you about? Most people don't even know about it. Okay, in your stomach there's this acid called chlorine kind of acid. So how do you make chlorine? Chlorine is a type of bleach, but it's a gas. When it condenses, it becomes chlorine. For swimming pools, a liquid version. Alright, so what else is the secret about the human body that people don't tell you? And a lot of people are just dense and too stupid to know. Alright, so on the Christian channel, there's a man, quite a old recording of a man in the 60s or 70s, and he tells about the human blood and how the metabolism works and how the human body actually produces bicarbonate of soda, or sodium bicarbonate is commonly known. It's baking soda, which you put in a banana cake. So the human body actually produces sodium bicarbonate. Now you'd think, well, why would it do that? All night when you sleep, it's producing something that they put in biscuits. So the thing is, there's two things that people don't know about, then they're side by side with each other, and that's alkali. Alkali is what's on vegetables, and if you get baking soda, how's that even made? Well, it's bicarbonate, so it's two carbons. Okay, so it's sodium, that's the salts in our blood, and the two carbons, mix those together. So at night we don't breathe so much, so we accumulate carbon molecules, and they mix with the salt molecules, and then we end up with sodium bicarbonate, because the carbon doubles. But the thing is, the thing that people don't know is that the acid is the exact opposite of the alkali bicarbonate. You see, if you get a anode and a cathode, and you put them in salt water and apply power supply, what happens is one of the electrodes gives carbon, while the other gives you hydrogen. So the hydrogen one evolves into everything that is alkaline and becomes chlorine. Okay, so salt water changes into chlorine gas through electricity. Now our body, as we sleep, it builds in electricity because the salt helps the water in our blood to conduct electricity. So what happens is we sleep, we become non-moving, and the carbon molecules build up when we're too stupid to remember to breathe. We slow down on our breathing, so we get less air, more carbon. The carbon is very good for growing hair and a few other thinking processes. But generally speaking, they're opposite to each other. What are opposite? Acids are what is opposite to alkalis. So the whole world is based on what does the sun do to the earth. It bombards the earth with positives. Okay, so what does the moon do? Well, it drains away the positives. And they say that the moon is negative, so she's a negative woman, or whatever she is, and she drains away the radiation because she is a diamagnetic. So magnetics is where you attract, where she is repelling. She pushes away from the earth. So you've got to ask yourself, what is the sun? Is it indeed collapsing upon itself and crushing and creating frictions which produce statics, which produce glow, which makes that static lightning glow, and then so it's energized and therefore luminous like a light bulb, making plasmatic luminous fields. Okay, so it's because of the crushing ability. So it produces protons after the crushing friction is generating its charge. So what's going on? One effect when earthed, one of the electrodes or one of the positive sun or negative moon, they have their effect. But with certain zodiac seasons, the sun is low on its charge and the moon is dominant, and that's where you get mushrooms and things growing which are actually made from chlorines. So you get an animal walking around urinating and these salts are forming, mineral salts, and they're on the grass, and then the sun is pointing mostly away from the planet, so the negative moon is drawing up from the planet. The positive energies are being pulled up to the moon. So something in the moon, maybe it's a bunch of aliens, very thirsty for life, so they suck that life out of the earth and they produce extenuating drawing of the salts, so that causes alkalines to evolve, and that's why bleaches come from the salts of our urine, because after all, salt evolved from energy makes alkalines, alkali they call it. So it makes lye or sodium hydroxide. It makes those sorts of things, and they become crystalline. Salts, when given power, they become crystals. And that's why up in the mountains they have these beautiful crystals that in America they go mining, in many places around the world. So that's how crystals form diamonds. They are the carbon, so the carbon that comes from the other electrode. Or is it the same electrode but on a different side of the moon? See, the moon has two ways. It's only a half moon, but mostly it faces us. And it has a waning moon and a feigning moon. In the one of the moons, it draws the earth and causes mushrooms to grow, while in the other, it's actually causing women to have their period because it's doing stuff with the water. It has a push time, negative push instead of a negative draw, a pull. And the sun actually has that as well. There's a time when it pumps down, and there's a time when it's quite weak and it's pulling. So both effects, and there's 4 effects, and they're all happening at different times of the year. So there you go. You just learned the secret about the zodiac seasons. There's 2 secrets, the waning and feigning, and there's 4 times of the year where the sun's in the waning and fading and the moon's in the waning and fading. Alright? Our body, why is it that we rub vegetables on our wounds and make a poultice? Why would we put vegetables on a body? Because vegetables are alkali. Why would a acidic plant like aloe be able to heal wounds on skin? Some people, they are acid dominant at certain times of the year, and other times they become alkali dominant. On the surface of your skin, a lot of people are too stupid to rub greens or grass onto your skin. So they're too stupid to know what an alkali is. They stomp on it all the time. They don't even know it's right there. And they don't know how to produce acid. The acid can't form so well in the cold, but it will evolve in the heat. Now the vegetables, they have their own ways too. They'll grow in the cold, but only so much. And in the heat, some vegetables, they will grow like crazy. So there's the golden ratio zone where everything exists that is to exist properly. I think I've said enough bullshit for tonight. If you think it's good information, like and subscribe. Thank you for listening to my crap.